Welcome back to segment 3. Father John Paul Kern has a great vocation story.
Wow, he sure does, and we're so blessed with him and with so many of the Dominican priests who've served in the Archdiocese.
Tying the whole show together, the Catholic Services Appeal funds that ministry, but also helps us with our topic now, which is celebrating and paying attention to the Respect Life Month.
Yeah.
Tell us about the church.
October's a Respect Life Month, Brian. We don't want to lose sight of that. The theme this year, and in fact it's a beautiful theme, it comes from Evangelium Vitae, which is the document of St. John Paul II from the mid-1990s. To imitate Christ and to follow in his footsteps. Doesn't that sound like Pope Francis too?
Yes.
To imitate Christ and to follow in his footsteps. You know, I think when years from now we look back, first of all, on the ministry and leadership of Pope Francis, we'll remember in a special way Evangelii Gaudium, the joy of the gospel. Just as with St. John Paul II, we are remembering now the gospel of life. Do they fit together? You better believe they do.
Sure.
To promote life and the dignity of every human person, and to be a person who lives the joy of the gospel. Connect. And that's what this month is about, respecting human life.
We've done this for many years, had an acknowledgement of Respect Life Month, but why an annual focus?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think there's two good reasons. First of all, I think people bring a certain passion for life.
Okay.
Many know, because of my brother Georgie, anytime you hear Down syndrome, I'm out there talking about defending people with Down syndrome. Well, other people have been given the gift and grace of a passion for some other important aspect of the pro-life ministry. We last month talked about the sin of racism, which is a pro-life event, and to be able to combat it. And in some ways, we don't want to lose that passion. But then secondly, and this gets to the month also, we need to constantly deepen our understanding of where our passion fits into Catholic social teaching. And the way we do that is by broadening our own horizons, making sure that we're not leaving anybody out from, as we say, the moment of conception to the moment of natural death, and all the way in between. So this is both a teaching month, it's a prayer month, and it's an opportunity for us to, I guess, get our marching orders every year to stand up for life.
You know, all that's gone on in 2020 is a reminder of Respect Life. Even during the whole COVID-19 pandemic, we've been reminded of the care of life. Those near death, those suffering illnesses.
The common good and the dignity of the human person. I think it's been a real illustration that we got to think of others.
Well, and the repeated central teaching of Catholic social teachings that's present in all of that. Now, one of the things that the resources always point us to is to make it personal. And part of the way personal is to be connected to people. As you talked about your brother Georgie, but there's other ways all of us need to do that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, no, there's no question about it. I mean, there are people who have defended the life of the child in the womb. There are people, in fact, one of the big programs this year is a year of walking with mom and their children.
That's right.
And so that notion, which is part of the USCCB pro-life activity commitment, is how are we not simply defending life on a public level, but how on a personal level, when someone is challenged, are we walking with that mother's family, and with the child in the womb? And the same is true when we look at people who are in nursing homes, at what Pope Francis calls the throwaway generation.
Yes.
And how do we not have our hearts go out to children who need a foster home, or to people who are without adequate housing and without a job? You know, all of this relates to dignity, and we can't play one against the other. They need to be basis. Now, for sure, preeminent is, of course, the right to life itself, because if we don't defend life, we can't defend all the things necessary to live a fruitful life. But this is a month which should bring about unity within the church in our common commitment, and against a consumerism or a selfish culture. It's always saying, no, the way we treat the dignity of that person, and I guess they say the mark of a society is the way you have treated the one you think the least of. Yes. So whoever happens to be the least in your life, the way you're treating that person at this time is an indictment, if you will, or a praise on the culture within which we live.
Maybe let's help our listeners see it as something that happens both on the level of the diocese and as well as the parish. So the Archdiocese, we have our Catholic Charities work, our Respect Life office. Diocesan work in this is what?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I'm so pleased with the way in which our diocesan offices, and I credit a good bit to you, are working as a team. We're working together. And I like to say, as you've heard many times, you want a healthy archdiocese, build healthy parishes. So we're parish focused. A lot of good things happen beyond the parish, we know that. But the bread and butter of Catholic life, of the life of the church, is always going to be centered in the Eucharist and always going to be centered in the parish life. And so I'm just proud of the way in which there's that outreach going on now within our communities, but most especially within our parishes, to be pro-life and to respect human life, again, from the moment of conception to natural death. I like when all people are involved. I like when young people especially are. Yeah. I know we say they're the future of the church, or they're the presence of the church, but they're also the future of the church. And so I think it does our heart good when we see people committed to being ambassadors for life.
Well, parishes, some of the things that go on, like the walking, the mother and child connections, these programming are wonderful opportunities for parishes to make this very practical and real, is it not?
They really are. So I would say to people, keep your eye on the record, keep your eye on our websites, and be aware of what's happening in your parish bulletins.
That's right. Very good, very good. I'm glad then to hear more about this Respect Life Month, because it's a reminder of the central focus of the gospel too. Okay. This is scriptural based. This is not just the news issue of the day. This is the heart of our teaching.
That's absolutely.
Very good.
Absolutely.
Good. Thanks,
Thank you,
Archbishop.
Brian.
Thank everyone for being here for the October edition of Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz. Tune in next month for November.